Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. Today is Wednesday, hump day. So we are having our woo woo Wednesday. So I got my buddy Public joining me. And then we have Cindy from the Indy Road. You guys have met her before. We did her crypto journey. She's one of my Patreons. And she has launched a new website to help some people with some crypto tutoring and some healthy food options. So we're going to talk about that and their new YouTube channel. So be right back and introduce you guys. See the continuing saga and the journey of Cindy from the Indy Road. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. Public. Great to see you on Wednesday.
Good to see you too.
My right hand buddy on Woo Woo Wednesday. And Cindy, great to have you back.
Thank you.
Kind of tell us what has been going on at the Indy Road since we last talked to you.
Well, a lot. We have been working on our gardens. So we're all about food, cryptos, and freedom. And we are developing the gardens. We have the chickens. They're doing really well. We have 6 beehives now. And so what we're doing with the Indy Road is basically teaching people how to live sustainably, even in their backyard, how they can do it and grow food. Also the cryptos, how to be sustainable there, on how to get out of this debt system that we're all in, and to create some gains so that you can be free. And then there's the freedom, teaching people how to free themselves from the rat race.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm excited to where are you guys located? Well,
we're
in Indy, I guess.
Yeah, we're in Oregon. We're in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not in Indiana. I was thinking Indy, like
Indy is a combination of my husband's name, Ian, and my name, Cindy.
Okay. I knew there was something cute about your names and I couldn't remember it. That's really sweet. So this is Ian and Cindy. So you've started the YouTube channel, and what do you think that kind of messaging is? Do you do like examples of each one of those things, the food, the freedom, and the crypto?
Yeah, I mostly focus on the cryptos. My husband, he follows along. He listens to everything I listen to. So he knows what's going on, and he has a really good memory. And of course, he's in charge of the gardens and growing everything, and I help him out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How much land do you have? How much gardening are you doing?
Right now we're only on a 7,000 square foot lot in town. So we're urban farmers.
Okay. But so that's most cases, right?
Yeah. And that's what we want to teach other people, that they can do that, bring back the victory gardens, it's possible. We have a greenhouse, so we're growing seeds in there, and we'll transplant them outside shortly.
Very cool.
They're doing well. Yeah.
So you have food coming out all year, all season long?
Yeah. So last year, at the end of the season, we had fires. And so we had a lot of ash, and it was very hot. And our harvest was pretty much ruined. So we didn't get to do a lot of canning and preserving because of that reason. And we did have to, we evacuated. We chose to evacuate for about 5 days. And I was very humbled because it was, we were homeless for about 5 days, it felt like. So that was really scary. And to have to pack.
Where do you live again? I'm sorry. Where were the fires?
It was in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
In the valley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were right there for all those wildfires. And I'm sure you have some conspiracy thoughts about how those fires got started and such, but maybe we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah. There's stories from the locals.
Yeah. My my mom and dad lost everything in a fire, and I know how devastating that is. Were you able to save some things from your home, or was it a total loss?
Well, no. I mean, we were fine and the town was fine, and that was a blessing. But it was just the fact of, it was getting really close, and it was really hard to breathe here. I've never experienced anything like that before. And then, was it a couple months ago, we had an ice storm, and I swear it was like bombs dropping. The trees were exploding. The power lines were exploding. So this is nothing. We've never experienced anything in this area before. So it was a new experience. And we had no power, I think, for about 6 days. And that was really hard for me. No power, no cell service, and being in cryptocurrencies.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you couldn't even charge your phone. I guess you could go out to your car maybe and charge your phone.
Yeah. But I had no cell service.
That would be your only. Oh, you had no cell service.
Yeah. The towers were down.
Wow.
That's how it was here in some of the larger storms on the East Coast. We've had cell service just goes down sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First experience for me. So we learned a lot.
I was going to say, what did you learn from that? Because you guys are all into this being sustainable, being prepared, all that. What did those situations teach you, or what are some things that you could help other people?
You never know what to expect. I've always been pretty much a prepper my entire life. My family has that background, but I figured out what was important to take with you and what was not. So, of course,
do a blog post or a video on YouTube about that. Like, okay, here's your emergency kick list, and then have people like comment and tell you other things they thought you should.
Yeah,
but that would be a great like go-to. That'd be something great for your website too.
Good idea.
Give people an emergency checklist, because we're in such uncertain time.
That's something I haven't really I've put thought into. I've been prepping for, years myself, probably 15 or 20 years. I never really thought so much about having to get up and get out for like a natural disaster type event like that. I thought it would be bugging out, out of town if stuff gets crazy, but not so quick. One would assume you could see, social unrest and things like that coming a little further out, but something like a fire or natural disaster, I mean, I would have been really, I guess, discombobulated or confused. Exactly. What do you take? What do you have with you? You're set up to be, there, and all of a sudden you're not. So that has to be like turning everything upside down on its own.
Yeah. Well, and like Cindy said, I mean, they've never had that kind of weather or those experiences there in that area. So it's not like, people think, well, that doesn't happen around here. Well, right now we're in such uncertain times.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
That doesn't happen anywhere, but it can happen everywhere right now. So that's really interesting. What led you to start this crypto tutoring that you have, that you're starting to do?
Well, a lot of friends and family were coming to me, and they were asking for help, and I just kept getting better and better at it. And I was wanting to help lots of other people learn how to be free and to invest in something other than keeping their money in the bank, to hedge their bets because, inflation is here and rising because of all the money printing, and it's another way to protect your assets. So I kept talking about that and sharing it with other people. They wanted to learn, but it was kind of overwhelming. It is. I know in 2018, when I first started, it was, I had to go to YouTube University. That's what I call it, and learn from all these little tutorials. That's where I started listening to all you guys too, and learn about the lingo. That's a whole other language.
I agree. I think that's one of the things I mention every time I have people watch documentaries, like at least one, if not two, just because the new introduction to the language that's around this, that you're like, I don't even know what blockchain means. I don't know what FUD is. All that. I mean,
for a long time, I would talk to my coworkers about it and they'd run from me.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're like coming to me and asking me questions like, hey,
Mhm.
it's starting to get more mainstream. They're hearing things on the news more,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
more people, stars, sports stars are talking about it and getting involved. So it's catching their attention, and now they're downloading Coinbase.
Nice. What's the most frequently asked question you get? Making wallets, or mine lately has been what's Dogecoin and how do I get it? That's
Oh, I
that's
know.
been literally 10 times in the last week.
Yeah.
Last week, I had multiple people in one day contact me. How do I get it? How do I
Mhm.
get Doge? What is Doge?
How do I invest in stuff I don't know about? Yeah.
And they also call it, what is this doggy coin?
Mhm.
Mhm. The doggy coin. Yeah.
It's
Well, and there's lots of doggy coins right now.
there's a
Yeah.
ton of doggy coins. There's
Shiba and yeah.
Yeah, and I actually paid attention. I'm also part of SL369's Patreon. I love that. And the Discord gets so much information and knowledge on all the tricks, and then I pass it on, which wallet to download, the Trust wallet versus MetaMask, and what are the tricks. And so it helps me a lot. And then that also helps other people learn about how to invest. And right now, I am investing in a few of those under the penny cryptocurrencies. They're kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. And we know that they technically should be one of the next to come.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
should be the next group to come. Some of these smaller ones. We've got the big ones to go already. We've got some of the Litecoins, the Bitcoin Cashes. We got some of them kind of in like the next level down off of the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. And now I think the next bump up is going to be the smaller ones, pennies and less.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Quick question for you though. Now that you mentioned Trust Wallet, I just downloaded it. I haven't used it yet. What are your thoughts?
I just recently started using it in the last month. I had it for a long time. I just downloaded it, I don't know, a year or so ago, and I didn't do anything with it. And then I started seeing this information about the penny coins and how to use it. And it seems really easy. I feel pretty confident to share with other people to download it and use
Do you
it.
do staking inside of Perpetual Wallet?
I do staking in the Atomic wallet with Zilliqua. I get really good returns. What is it, 15%? Every time I open up my staking, I look at my coins like, oh my gosh, they keep growing.
There's something that we're staking that we make 98% or something like that. It's something insane, and I can't remember what it is.
Wow.
I'll post it on my Patreon once I ask Charlie.
Yeah, I need to know.
He was showing me
Charlie,
last night.
what is it?
What in the world?
Well, what do you think of that Safe Moon? It's a different type of staking. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, Safe Moon is one of those under the penny coins, and
that was when we were going to do Safe Moon and I think Shibu, but then we ended up doing Bitcoin Black, and I'll be releasing that to the public the end of this week. But that was really interesting, and it's not available for U.S. citizens yet. So although some people were like, oh, well, this has been going on for a while. Yeah, but not for U.S. citizens. But you can go and sign up for a wallet or notification. And then when it's available for US, they will contact you. You can download a wallet and then still receive the airdrop or part of the airdrop. So I don't know. There's some really cool stuff going on out there. It's exciting to be able to buy like 1 million coins of something.
I know. It's fun to look at.
Yeah.
But of course I tell people, okay, this is a gamble,
Yeah, it's the lottery ticket kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's fun, just like those penny slot machines, you never know when you're going to strike it. But, I tell other people that I help, I tell them about the good coins. I tell them about Litecoin. I tell them about Theta because I love Theta and it's got a lot more room to grow. And the development and the partnerships alone are amazing. And did I mention Digibyte, Cardano, their Bitcoin Cash? I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot of good projects out there. And yeah, a lot of them are rising right now, but there's still a lot of room to grow, especially in these good projects, these good cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, and I know you're a Patreon, so did you see the video that we did? Well, then I released it publicly about Matic.
Yes, and I've been
Because
buying that up.
okay, because Matic is similar to Theta,
Uh-huh.
but it has some patents that Theta does not have. So I
So
don't know where that goes in the future.
yeah, so what I understood from it is that I'm trying to put it in very simple terms because I don't really understand the technical.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's hard. But what I can do is break it down is that Matic or Polygon is like another layer that goes on top of Ethereum that helps with the transaction fees, lower that, and the scalability so that more
Oh, maybe I'm
transactions.
thinking of the wrong coin because you're right.
Okay.
Okay.
Are
So
you
was it the
talking about
XYO?
Contentos
No,
or Veracity?
maybe Veracity. I bet it's
Veracity.
Veracity that I'm thinking of.
Mhm. And
Oh
I
gosh.
still yet need to invest in that one. I looked at it the other day. I was like, oh yeah, there is some similarities to Theta.
Okay, so then it
Mhm.
was that one.
Yeah,
VRA,
yeah.
I think is the ticker for it. And that's the one that so she and I and Maya talk privately
Mhm.
off. And then my husband tells me what's on the Discord and through her Patreon and all that. So then I get this information and I'm like, okay, I don't know who's on first, which one we talked about first,
Mhm.
but if you go back and watch those videos, then it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting though. I like it.
Yeah.
So now is
Go
a
ahead.
pretty good time, I would think, to maybe divest out of some of the other larger cryptos that have done a little better. Is that
Mhm.
what you're like personally? What are you doing now? Are you investing new money into these penny stocks, penny coins, or are you taking some profits from some of your other holdings and converting it into the smaller ones?
I'm doing both.
Okay.
I'm really bad about pulling out some profits out of my good coins. I'm not ready to do that yet. I know it still has a lot of room to grow. I am a hodler.
Mhm.
I collect them and I hodl, and I'm going to wait until I see the price points. Then I am willing to sell at, and I just have to trust my instinct and my I don't know, my spiritual support team and telling me when to
Right.
do that. And it's going to be different for each person. I'm in it for the long haul, but some of these under the penny coins, I'm going to take profits and buy some of those better coins with it.
Buy some more Theta and Litecoin and Digibyte.
Swap out of the bigger ones, make some money in the pennies, and then put it back
And then
into the
put it
bigger
back
ones.
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
bigger ones. Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Well, and I think there's the whole that we're in seasons, and with you having a history and your family history of prepping, and we've been
Mhm.
helping mom with some things, and we're kind of in a new season of, what do we need? And I don't know. She had a great question. She's like, but then think about what you were told in Bible school or whatever, like,
Mhm.
oh, you need to prepare for 7 years of whatever. And then at the same time, you're also being told, that God takes care of you and the manna will come
Mhm.
and you don't. And I just think about that maybe more of it's about being obedient, or having the affirmation that you listen to God and you submitted in whatever way he told you to be prepared, or that he took care of you, but ultimately all of it's from him. And so watching you guys have this sustainability, and you're talking about you're leaning on your spiritual guides, or
Mhm.
those voices influencing you. And there's seasons in your life where, like, for one season it may be a certain I always talk about, especially with the foster care stuff, like if they had told me you're going to adopt special needs children that will be very challenging and have medical fragile issues, and then one will pass away, like I would have never said yes to the
Mhm.
first step. But I didn't know the first step. The first step was, hey, we want you to help. There's these kids aging out of foster care with no families, and they need some kind of point person to help them, be somebody who signs on their, gives them a recommendation to get a job, or, you know, those kind of things. Like, it started very small. And I feel like God, the universe tells you, okay, come here, come here, come here, come here.
Yeah.
And you walk down that hall and you don't know you're going to turn.
Yeah.
But you have to walk down the hall first. So, like, in your journey, you have gone through these seasons, even so far, where you guys did sustainability in your own home, and now you're branching out to help others. It's included crypto now, where it was more prepping before. How do you manage those transitions and not feel bad about, like, oh, well, I wasn't supposed to do this part? Do you see that part previously led you to the next part, or what was your kind of experience with that?
Well, I have different seasons in my life, and I feel like I'm very much in between what I'm doing now. I work with at-risk youth and kids who are on probation, and I do a lot of counseling, independent living. We teach them a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's been awesome. I've been doing it for 21 plus years.
Wow.
But now it's like, and it's prepared me for where I'm at now. It taught me how to teach. It taught me how to break things down to a simpler way of explaining it to other people when it's complicated. And so, you know, I've definitely have had those different times in my life that have prepared me for where I'm at now. And they just keep adding on. During that time, my husband and I had, with my mother-in-law, we opened up an adult foster home for 5 guys on the autism spectrum, and we got it up and running. We did it for 5 years. And that was when I started learning about cryptocurrency, and I started, I had a lot more income to be able to invest in those currencies at that time as well. And I had, I was working full time with the kids, the teenagers, and helping to run the foster home. But I'm a workaholic. I have a hard time sitting down. I like to do a lot of different projects, but my passion is helping people to free themselves from debt, you know, to stop being a debt slave.
That's one of the biggest things you could ever do. I've been out of just about all the debt. I have a small car payment, and that's all I have for years and years and years now. It frees you up so much with everything else, and takes so much stress off, and lets you take so much other paths and do other things without having to constantly pay down that debt and pay off those loans. It really opens up a lot of opportunities, right? And a lot of, you know, a different perspective of looking at life. And after a small amount of time of not having to constantly pay those bills and pay those bills, and now you've got this money to do something with, it really can change everything. That's been my experience. It's really, really changes everything.
Yeah.
And I think that not being greedy, like looking at where we are in cryptos, you know, we've all been through this bear market and this bear winter. And now we're seeing some, what newbies are calling gains. And we're like, oh no, we're just back to, okay, we can breathe. And I think you appreciate the struggle or the time that you were in, and you're like, okay, I know that something might run up, they're saying, to whatever, but what can I do right now with something to change the quality of my life in the moment? And so what are some of those things for you that you see that are really maybe things you'll do differently in this next bull run?
I will pay off a few debts. I will free myself in that area. Ultimately, I want to buy a farm. Actually, not me. We want to buy a farm.
Me too.
I grew up on a farm, so yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I grew up across the street from a small, like what would I guess would be like a hobby farm today. It was like 5 acres or so, right across the street. The guy had goats and horses and sheep, and, you know, a big barns and everything. I always wanted it since I was a little kid, and
But
I'm
this
getting it.
vision, this vision of not just having a farm for ourselves, but a place where people can come, kind of like a co-op, where they can all be a part of growing food, making tinctures, healing techniques, um, alternative healing, you name it, a place for them to stay, have some tiny homes out there, just build community.
That's perfect. That's like exactly. I want to come visit when this happens.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Build a
All
little
of you guys can
TPA
have
mini
farms.
house
Yeah,
in the
just
back, and
I'll
Yeah.
just come visit and hug babies and all that. I don't want all the farm stuff. My mom is like, she can make anything grow. It's amazing. And she's building and moving, and she's so busy. She's like you, Cindy. She's like always going, always moving, doing something. And I'm just like, it's a lot to get out there. And I think the knowledge too, that like mom's grown stuff for years and years and years. And so she knows what's worth putting your time and effort into, and the harvest that you're going to get out of it, and having that satisfying feeling of the harvest where I'm just like, yeah, I think I can go to the grocery store and buy that. You know what I mean? But that harvest feeling, whether that's in crypto or food, it's really interesting that you're really focused on those two things, which lead you to that, which you feel leads you to the freedom, give you that freedom.
Yeah.
And so it just is that kind of a harvest message. I don't know, that really goes through all that.
Yeah.
What else?
What are some staples? What advice can you give? I got into gardening again last year. I had a really nice garden in the back garden. I had finally had some time to put into it, right? With all this going on. I did some tomatoes. They did really well here. A couple of different cucumber plants, a bunch of herbs. I did some strawberries, a bunch of different lettuces and stuff like that. And by me in the Northeast, that worked out really great. I had the season basically went from Mother's Day till frost was starting. I was still pulling off, tomatoes that were green, trying to do something with. What do you recommend? What are some of your go-tos?
My husband can grow a lot of winter squash. Okay. And we have utilized the winter squash all year long. They last so long. They're very well preserved, and you could probably store them in a cool place and eat them all the way through the next March, April, if you store them right. And so they're really good food, full of nutrition, and you can make tomato sauce with the tomatoes, and soup, and it's a really great staple. Yeah, it's something, like if you needed food to get you through the winter, that's an important vegetable to grow. And of course, tomatoes. And I do a lot of making tomato sauce. It's not just tomato sauce. You can turn it into soup too, because it's really thick with the winter squash.
So you mix the tomatoes and the winter squash?
Yes, I just use a blender. Yeah.
Okay.
And garlic and basil, and yeah.
Do you do a lot of canning then?
I will do more this year. I did the year before. Last year it didn't happen. I think I did one batch. And then the fires hit, and I was going to do a lot more, but
well, hopefully you've been able to incorporate some catastrophe planning into that, and I'm sure you've been able to eat really well still. Hopefully you did get some knowledge out of that you can share with everybody.
It's really important not only to have cryptos, silver, metals, some fiat and stashed, but it's really important to have seeds. Seeds are just as important, because non-GMO, open pollinating seeds, so that you can keep growing and collecting seeds after each season. So you'll be able to continue to grow food.
So you said you have several hives, right?
Yeah, we have 6 this year. Our hives last year didn't survive. I think it was because all the smoke and the fires. But we just recently, this last week, got 6, and my husband has them set up. My mother-in-law has 2 hives over at her place right now, so we have 4 here, and they're doing well. They seem to be very happy, and they're great for pollinating everything.
Yeah.
And then you have the honey.
So then you have something. Now you get more honey than you can eat, obviously. So then you have some, like a cash crop also.
Yeah.
More so than some of the others.
Well, we will see this year. Last year we only had 2 hives, but I really couldn't tell you. I think we had like 40 pounds. We had quite a bit.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Do you also use the beeswax for topical stuff or anything like that, or getting into that maybe?
I will be getting into that because there's so many use cases for beeswax.
The candles and topicals.
There's a lot of places that'll buy purchase your used quote unquote beeswax after you extract all the honey out of it too. So
yeah,
a lot of different income streams for you.
There is nothing better than raw unfiltered honey. It is so healthy too.
Well, especially if you can buy local, then that helps with your allergies for that area.
Yes.
That's what we've been doing for my husband. He's been suffering from allergies this year terribly. And so started buying him local honey. He just puts a spoon of it in his coffee every morning. So.
A couple tablespoons a day of raw local honey is what actually cured my allergies. I was on allergy medicine 2-3 times a day for years as a landscaper and working outside in construction for years. I was on it, and I finally, I think it was in addition to giving up a lot of the inflammatory foods that we all eat, a lot of the wheat and dairy and stuff like that. But incorporating the raw, all natural local honey for me, I haven't taken any allergy medicine probably for maybe 2 weeks after I started with it. And that was years ago, and I haven't taken any. And I was a lifer at that point with the allergy medicine, but it really is amazing. It's crazy.
Amazing how nature is healing. You get medicine through nature. Eat right. We have a pretty clean diet where we do intermittent fasting, and the diet that we do every once in a while, it's like a 6 weeks. I'm on the 5th week of intermittent fasting, and no sugar, absolutely none. And it's like a keto diet, and it's so beneficial. And when you fast, you do the fasting, it really sharpens my mind.
They say it's one of the best things you can do for health overall and life extension if you fast, you live longer, period, is what my research shows on that. Yeah. Incredible.
We have an incredible doctor that teaches us how to do this.
You're lucky to have somebody like that. There's not many around. We've had to drive an hour and a half to a holistic doctor since my 15-year-old was born. So I would love to have something more local like that. You're very fortunate out there for that.
We're lucky. We have him in town.
Very, very cool.
You had to interview him for your channel and talk about some of the alternative health things. I think that's really cool that you're building community too, and talking about, sharing ideas of health and more holistic ways of looking at things. So definitely. Do you have any animals there? Well, I guess you wouldn't on the
I want goats, but on the farm we'll have some goats. But no, we have 2 cats and a Pomeranian Chihuahua mixed dog. She came with us. Well, actually, she adopted my husband. That's her person, but she came with me.
She deals with you?
She came with me, and she picked him. So
Chihuahuas are like that. We have a little Chihuahua also, and she fell in love with me the day that we met. She totally fell in love with me. She's the coolest little dog too, little 5-pound little thingy. Yeah,
she's getting very old, but yeah, we would like to have. We have the chickens. We have 7, but and then of course we have raccoons in the neighborhood, but. We don't claim them.
The chickens are doing well? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you have trouble with the raccoons with chickens?
No. We make sure that we lock up the chickens every night. So before dark.
Nana should take a lesson from that. I don't know if you heard the last week's episode. She was telling a story about how Nana had to come out with a chicken in one arm and with a possum under the other arm, and they're fighting at each other, going at each other like this. And this is Nana doing this. So,
Oh, wow.
they're
And then she threw it over the fence.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
she didn't. I was like, get a gun or something. Mom's like, no, they're good for the environment. So she throws the possum over the fence. Yeah.
Well, we did catch a skunk in the trap, and he was fine, and we threw a sheet over the trap and drove him out to the country.
Oh, that's nice.
We moved
You
him.
set him free.
Yeah.
Relocating.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've got animals, bees,
Yeah.
growing fruits and vegetables.
So I would love to see. I have a question. Whenever you're.
No, go ahead.
You said you have a clean diet.
Yeah.
What do you consider a clean diet, and how can people make that first switch from going into your SAD diet, your standard American diet, into your clean diet? What are some of the first things? Because I love that. I've been eating clean for years and years and years. And that's one of the questions I've always got. How do I start? What's some of the first things I can do? Where do I, start on this journey?
The number one, which is hardest for everybody, is eliminating sugar, or as much sugar as possible. The cakes, the treats. I don't even put sugar in my coffee. That was really hard because I love cream, the creamer with the sugar, but I just switched to stevia. You can have stevia, natural stevia. They have great packets where you can put them in your coffee. During the fasting, the 6 weeks fasting that I do, I don't have the sweets unless it's on, like, we have a feast day where you have to eat 3 meals. And so it tricks your brain and your body into preparing for ketosis. I'm not really good. I'm not a medical expert here. So I just know that you want to activate your ketones in your body.
Start burning more oils for energy rather than carbohydrates for energy.
Yes.
Basically,
and it burns
Swiss system, right?
And it burns the old fat where that holds stores a lot of the toxins, and you want to burn that off. But sugar is a big one, and the carbs, the breads and stuff. I just started baking with almond flour and coconut flour and things like that. I don't even have rice in our diet.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Now, why not rice? Because that's a grain.
No grains. While we're doing the 6-week intermittent fasting.
Anything, that's going to put you in the keto state is going to be, you can't consume any of those carbohydrates because your body naturally will choose to burn the carbohydrates first, and you got to kind of say, hey, stop, use some of these oils, right?
Right. So it can be a challenge at first because your body is saying, no, I want these things. But after a while, you get used to it, and you eat a lot more vegetables. And you can
Are you a C60 fan? I know that when we had Ken on, he was talking about doing intermittent fasting and also using the C60, and they have one that's keto friendly with the MCT oil and the benefits of that. I wondered what your thoughts are on that.
I have been taking 3 C60s for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now.
Nice.
Yeah. And my doctor sells it in his office, so that's even better.
Awesome. Well, there's a link in the description of this video if you guys want to buy some C60, and it kicks back, helps the channel. And I'd be happy to introduce you, Cindy, to Ken and the people at Purple Power C60 because they're looking for some more advocates. So people that are doing this kind of healthy living. And I'm not near as healthy as you, but I'm taking my C60 every day for sure.
Good.
Going on 4 years now, you said, with the C60. That's just
Yeah.
about longer than me, right? I think I'm going on 3 or 4 now, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's made. I did a whole rant on it not that long ago on one of our shows here. How much I love it. How much it's changed my life, my joints, my muscles, my skin, my hair
Your
changed
beard.
back to
Yeah.
dark color. Yeah, it's like it's truly incredible for me. It's one of the best, probably if I had to say, the best supplement I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah.
It does that, that crazy about it with the extra stem cells and just how it goes in. It takes out all the damage that's being done and then sends in the repair cells in at the same time to fix everything. What are some of the things, real quick, if you don't mind, that you've noticed that C60 has helped benefit you?
Probably energy and more clarity
Yeah.
in my thinking. Yeah.
Very cool. Have you noticed much healing to your body per se, or your skin looking a little younger, your hair possibly changing like mine did?
Yeah, I still have gray, so I dye it.
That's why I'm
Oh,
blonde.
mine's
girl.
gray. Look at this. I got a lot of gray, but I was white. 3 years ago, I was white. I had to
Geez.
very, very gray hair.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel, more energy and more focused.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I love to ask people who are on it, because I never meet other people that actually like, what's that? It's to get someone else's opinion on it. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I had somebody, one of my girlfriends that I walk with at home, and she was asking me, what's the C60 stuff? I guess she watched one of the shows or something. And so I started telling her about it, and I was telling her about the studies they did in France, where like the study ended after a few years, but the rats were still alive, and they ended up having to like euthanize them after 5 years, because they're like, they typically only live about 2 years, and here these rats were alive after 5 years. So, there's some of that you just can't deny, can't.
And I have a lot more to do. I'm nearing 50, and I need to do a lot more work. And if we're going to start this farm, I got to extend my life.
And your joints, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my
joints. Working on, my mom had a ranch for many, many years, and you're slinging 50-pound bags of feed and hauling hay and the whole bit. You gotta.
Plus, I was a gymnast for 11 years, so I did a lot of damage to my joints.
So your joints are hurting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My little one's a gymnast. I keep trying to pull her back from doing too much, but it's inevitable if you're going to be in that sport, I think.
Yeah, you do look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Maybe it's this C60.
There you go. We'll attribute it to that work.
It's good living.
Yeah, good living, exactly.
Yeah. I think
when you have a smile on, you just look better too most of the time. And honestly, you haven't stopped smiling for a while, so that's a good thing, also, right? We need that. We need to have happy people smiling around. It just makes everybody feel better in the room.
Well, it's about attitude.
Yeah.
And the no mask thing. Like, we're here in my mom's little town, and they released the mask mandate. We drove through to get sandwiches the other day, and Charlie was like, I just want to tell you, I love seeing your smile. And the little girl at the window was just, felt so good about it. But it really does change your mood, seeing each other smile. And so we do need to do that.
It's really important. Yeah. I want that to all go away, because I read people's lips, and I also read people's energy, and I have to see their face, and also with the 6 feet apart, our energy fields are not meshing, and we can't feel each other's energy, and it's just detrimental.
So many attacks on society and humans in general, just with those two things you mentioned, just the face covering and the 6 feet. It literally breaks the bonds between us, like in multiple different ways. And I wish more people would see it like that. Thank you.
Yeah. I know Uncle Cliff talked about in one of his videos that there's actually, in some cultures, like there's a saying about they don't trust you if they can't smell your breath kind of thing.
I did hear that.
Because you need to be able to be in that close environment with somebody to, and like you said, it's probably more about reading their energy than. So are you comfortable sharing a little bit about your spiritual journey? Because you've mentioned, your spirit guides, and reading people's energy and how important that is to you? Is that something you've always kind of been aware of, or is that new to you?
Yeah.
If you're
So
comfortable sharing.
I mean, we all have these gifts, but I think I was always a little eccentric since I was young, and I remember having dreams or seeing orbs and those kind of things. I wouldn't say I'm like, a Sharon Michelle or Michelle White Dove psychic. I'm not. We all tap into those abilities. I'm not at that level at all, but we all have our intuition, and we choose to enhance it or not. Maybe that's why I'm taking the C60 and doing intermittent fasting. It seems to enhance that as well. So there's less interference. I was all over the place as a young kid, my energies, and I had nobody to teach me. I grew up in a pretty conservative Christian home, so we didn't learn about those things. We didn't have a TV growing up, so I wasn't exposed to those things. But I used to have dreams of like UFOs, ETs, being on ships,
Nice.
things like that.
Like every kid of the 70s, right?
Yeah. And so that was I don't know quite. I'm not quite sure how to interpret that. We will see in the coming years how that all unfolds. I know that we have our star being friends that are out there helping us. We also have spirit guides and angels, and I've always tapped into them. I was part of a women's group for like 10 years in my 20s, and they helped me and they guided me and taught me how to work with these energies. And I'm also, I would say, a healer. I help, especially with the kids that I work with. I work with a lot of negative energies. Let's just say that. And so I do energy work. I don't practice that. I just do it.
There you go.
Yeah. And so one day,
doing is better than practicing.
Yeah.
Just like with the whole doctors things, they practice all day. No, I want a person who's mastered what they're doing and is doing it, not practicing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it. It's better. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I studied quantum physics and the metaphysical world. I also dived into understanding the darkest of the dark. What that path is. Yeah.
That's how I came to this. I saw the evil first, and then that's what brought me to the light.
Yes. And that's exactly what we have to do. You cannot experience the light until you can look at the darkness. Yeah. You have to have the both. You have to know that what is going on. You can't live in this la world saying, oh, everything's wonderful, and ignore that this is happening. So it takes a brave soul to look at it and be able to get through the day knowing what you know.
Yeah.
So all of those things led me to where I'm at now. And what led me to crypto is like I got real frustrated with spirit. One day I said, how is it that all these elites, so-called dark elites, have all this income, all this money, all this power, and why can't us light warriors have that abundance? Because it's not about the money or the power. What we want is the resources to be able to do good in this world. Exactly. And I'm like, Spirit, why aren't we able to access this resource like they do? And like there's got to be some kind of magic or some kind of switch that we need to turn on in our brains and our energy fields. And then shortly after that, I'm not quite sure how it came to me, but it was invest in cryptocurrencies. So it was like, okay,
just a clear message for you. Yeah.
And I had to get a hold of DigiByte. That I kept hearing that voice, like, DigiByte.
That's a hot one. And everybody who we've talked to and many people who I've spoken to who've said that they were bought into cryptos or bought into this space because they were led here and it answers questions for them. A lot of people are talking about Digi. I mean, a lot of people are that one in particular, and Theta also. That's crazy. It's really crazy how it keeps, like the same things keep getting grouped together by the same types of people. And there's no coincidence.
And I do think it's interesting, like the energy that's brought around a project. You can kind of see, like, there's a community around Litecoin there, and not that they don't cross over. We're Litecoin fans, we're Digibyte fans, we're Theta fans, but there's like a energy or vibe created around some of these projects. And I think it's interesting to see those communities kind of rise and come together and have that personality as well. So everybody can find you at theindyroad.com. There's information there about growing food, sustainability, freedom, cryptocurrency. If you go to her crypto page, scroll down to the bottom, and there is the crypto tutoring. There is an option, which I think is wonderful because there's so many new people, and everybody just needs a little help sometimes. People can also check out your YouTube channel, and all of these I have in the description below. They're the first thing you can find there. There's also links in there for different wallets from mine, and then also you can donate to the channel to PayPal or a Cointree if you want to give cryptocurrency, since we are not monetized on this channel since we got canned. You're out of here. But also go to the Indy Road on YouTube, and I put the link to that description as well. Let's get her channel built up. She's putting out good content. They did a really cute beginning video with the two of them, and then some good information about Theta, garden projects, and the intro of her Cindy, the crypto tutor. So you guys subscribe and turn the little notifications on so we can build up her channel. Remember, in crypto, we're more together. The more of us in here, the more you can find somebody that you can build up, partner with, co-create, all of that good stuff. That's what we're all in here for, and that's how we can help each other and love one another and make this world a little bit better place for sure.
Yep.
Very cool. Have you been to? I'm sorry. Have you been to any meetups? Larger ones, smaller ones? Do you participate in those? Not so much?
I want to. I haven't yet. Okay. I was hoping to go to Arizona, but it's just too soon to go to that meetup. But yeah, I would love to. And I'd like to start some meetups here as well.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. I wish you a lot of success with that. Meetups are a lot of fun. It's a really nice way to meet a bunch of cool people, to keep in touch with different people. I learn things every time I go to one of these. They're really, plus it's just a lot of fun. It's like geek heaven for coin guys, for coin people.
I need to be there. I do.
Just geeking out. Everyone's got their phones and showing everybody what they're up to, and it's a lot of fun.
I was at a trading one time, and I had a Theta shirt or something on, and somebody came to me and they like, well, cryptocurrencies, Theta, and it was like my new best friend. Complete
weird like me. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing your channel and your smile with us today. And I think you brighten a lot of people's day, and I'm excited to see where this all goes, and I can't wait to come out. Maybe we can have a meetup at your farm when you get your farm.
I will plan on that.
A nice camping weekend, kind of meetup thing with food and everything. Ooh, yeah, I'm in.
Fire pit.
I'm in. Very cool. I mean, that's the future. These small venues and these small events that are locally done, I believe this is the future. We're not going to be going to giant sporting events. We're not going to be going to the big fairs so much. I don't really think so much anymore. To the big, giant corporate produced events. No, it's going to be us little people like you,
gatherings,
putting your land, putting your home out there for other people to come in and learn from. This is the future.
Yeah, have like multiple little Woodstocks everywhere.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
All right, everybody, take care. Just do us a big favor, give us a like and share this video. Get the sunshine out there, and go follow Cindy on the road, indyroad.com, and then also go find her YouTube channel. All the links are in the description below. Buy some C60 from me. See you
Agreed.
guys.
C60 is the bomb.